Sorry, Dave.
You'll have to buy everybody a Hanukkah present, that's all, to make up for it.
I guess so, yeah.
Jacob, I started the recording.
Taka, we should do a Hanukkah party, I think. No?
Well, yeah, we're working.
We're gonna be on the
it.
halachas here anyway.
By the way, stay tuned. There's gonna be something. Relax.
Hand down. You were gonna be on the halachas here.
I wasn't going to be on this year. It's 8:39.
I'm saying we're talking about the people with the halacha get the Hanukkah present.
You know, because he really wants the daf to start 9:30. So when he logged in 8:30, he was expecting for the kitzur shir, not the daf.
No, I saw that you were delayed, so I thought by 8:30, you know.
Jacob, it's not true. The last few times, if you notice, if Tully's been on, he's already been in bedtime mode. So I think he's voting for a 7:30 daf these days.
You noticed.
Yes, Tully, we all noticed.
Okay, so let's go. Yeah, so we're on Mem Aleph Amud Aleph. About 9 lines down. Yeah, Amar of Alexandri. Yeah, we're doing so. It's a lot of agada to Bacholim. So Amar Rav Alexandri, Amar Rav Chia Bar Abba. Ein achoyla ayman micholiyoi ad shemaychlin loy kol avay noisav. A chayla doesn't get up from his sickness until they're Michael on all his avedas. Meaning, if he gets better, that means he had to have mechila from all his avedas. Shenamar haselech l'chol avinaychi harefi l'chol tachloichi. Right, he forgives all of the avedas, and he heals all sicknesses. Right. So, meaning it says first in the pasuk he forgives the avedas, and then he heals. So that means if he healed you, that means he was Michael all the avedas. You go back to the days of like from Noisei Alumaisa that well actually I don't know, it's different. Limei Aluma means to the days of he turns back the clock. He goes back to the days of past. Shanamar Rutafash Besare Minoyer. His skin is going to be how do you call it? Fresh or smooth from when he was a kid. Yosef Limei Alumav, he's going to go back to the days when he was young. Right? So when somebody gets sick and they get better, so they're going to go back to being the way they were when they were a kid. Right? So now this is another memory about Chaylim. All of his mishkavah, his bed, is turned over in the sickness. So Amar of Yosef, Laimar, what this means to say is the mishkach limudai. You're going to forget your learning. Somebody who gets sick will forget his learning because of the whole sickness. Right? And that gets to a famous Gemara of Yosef Chalash. Rabbi Yosef got sick. I guess that's this memory was from Rabbi Yosef, right? Because Rabbi Yosef got sick, he akalei limudai, and he lost all of his learning. So Ahadre Abaya kamei, Abaya taught it all to him. I know the b'chol duchta amrinon. That's when we say a lot of places in Shas. Amar Rav Yosef l'shmiya lehadosh shmaitza. I didn't hear this shmaitza, even though Rav Yosef was Abaya's Rebbi, but Abaya taught it all back to him. So I guess he didn't finish teaching him everything. That must be what it is. So Abaya atam risan. Sometimes Abaya would say back to Rav Yosef, "No, you taught it to us, and you taught it to us from this Mishnah." Right, so you see that Rabbi Yosef lost all his Torah when he got sick, and he had to be retaught. So ki have a gomer, and then another story about forgetting the Torah. Ki have a gomer Rebbi, Tlas Esrei Ape Hilchasa, when Rebbi learned 13 how do you say it? 13 versions of Hilchasa, of the Mishnayos. And then he taught Reb Chia. We had this in Yevamis that Reb Chia was Rebbe was machshav Reb Chia very much. So he taught Reb Chia 7 versions of it, and the Seif Chalash Rebbe. At the end, Rebbe got sick and he forgot his learning. So I don't know. Is this what we call dementia? Could that be what I'm saying? That at the end of their lives, or is that not?
Or amnesia.
I'm saying, why would they have amnesia? I'm saying it
No,
seems
then
like
it wouldn't be the
Gemara
end of your life. It could be any time.
I'm saying no, but you see a lot of people get sick and they don't forget their learning, right? It's not like somebody gets the strep throat. Maybe that's my issue, Tag. Every time I sneeze, I forget my learning. There you go. Okay, I'm saying with the L'chayra must mean a major sickness, no? I don't know, so I'm not sure. Anyway, so Rebbi had taught the 7 versions of it to Reb Chia, and then Rebbi got sick and he forgot his learning. So other Reb Chia Reb Chia taught him back Hanu Shiva Api Agentfor, the 7 versions that he taught him. She saw us do, but the other 6 he didn't have because Reb Chia. I mean, lahavdil elef alfei of dollars is like when you have a backup from your computer or your phone, and it only backed up. Your backup is missing a few days or a few weeks, so then you're stuck. So that's what happened. He had a backup. Reb Chia was his backup, but it was missing. It was missing 6 versions. So then Havahu Katra, there was a Katra, the guy that did the dry cleaners. Havashmiele the Rebbe, Kidahavagoris lo. He was listening on Rebbe when he would teach it, when he was teaching it to people. Also Reb Chia v'gomer yasayin kamei Katra. So Reb Chia heard that the laundry guy knew the other version, so he went and he learned it from the laundry guy. That's some laundry man. That's some dry cleaner right there, right? We had it in the Gemara. I think it was the end of Ksubis, where that laundry guy was upset that he missed Rebbe's patira, right? Right? He missed the laundryman was, and then he said he committed suicide officially. The Gemara sounded like, right? He fell because he was so upset that he missed Rebbe's patira, because anybody that was at Rebbe's patira was automatic olam haba, something like that. Anyways,
so there was
where he hit somebody. He thought he was messing with the rabbanim, so he smacked somebody. Also,
is that what it was? Also, yeah. So it must be this guy was a pretty hush of a.
No, Tiago, I think you were correct. The guy was upset. He tried to. He did commit suicide or something. That was our Shiloh.
It was in Eretz Yisrael. It must be 40 years ago now, maybe more. They realized the milkman. I don't know but which of the Adam Gadol, the milkman, the Tenuva milkman, who used to put them. Turned out he was a bucky and everything. He was a huge, giant Talmid Chacham. And he came to somebody by a Suda or whatever, and they realized, I don't remember the whole mice. His picture was in one of the biographies of one of the Gedolim. They realized that they had to be mechabed him all the time, this Yid.
I remember talking, there was something about the milkman, right? Yeah. Yeah, so this is the old version, I guess, of the milkman. Right, so so he taught Reb Chia. And then Reb Chia went and told it to Rebbi. Right? That's the old version of a backup, a computer backup. Right? That's how you back up the computers, and then you could remember everything. So anyways, when Rebbi would go see when the laundry guy would come to him, the dry cleaner, Rebbi, you made me and you made Chia, right? So meaning because he gave them back what they were missing. Or others say this is what he said. Asisa Chia, you made Chia, but Chia asa isi, and Chia made me. Right, either way, but the point is that this fellow that was listening in saved the day. Right? Okay. Fine. Another difficult Gemara to understand. So the next one, chananya mishoel Azarya, was that Nebuchadnezzar said anybody that doesn't bow down to the idol is going to die, and somebody ratted them out that they didn't bow down. So he put them in the fire, and the fire didn't burn them. So then he left them alone. So that's a pretty big nace. So we're saying that the nace of a chayla being healed is a bigger nace than that. Why? Chananya mishoel Azarya eish shel hedyot. That was a eish of a hedyot, meaning it was a regular fire. And anybody could put out a regular fire. But the chayla is heat, meaning assuming that it means fever. That's what I'm assuming, right? When the chayla has fever, so that's from Hashem, and B'meila humans can't just put that out. Who's able to put out what the humans, what Hashem made a fire? Fine.
Do you understand this, Reb Yaakov?
Do I understand this? No. No.
Okay, fine.
But,
Okay, fine.
Is it you have? I mean, okay.
What's the difference between a doctor and a fireman? A fireman puts out fires, and a doctor takes care of people. What's the chiluk?
Or I thought I was thinking more. What does Advil do to this Gemara?
Okay, fine.
I'm saying
Fine.
anything that takes out the how do you say it?
The chayla,
Takes away the fever. Right? Anybody takes the yeah. So then it's interesting you're saying that because
Jesse schnapps with a blanket. You don't have to buy Advil.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because I think a lot of times almost every Friday, you get a question about the baby has fever. Can they use a thermometer? And of course, nobody has the mercury thermometers anymore. So they have the digital. So can you use it on Shabbos? So I don't know. From what I understand from doctors, it's only dangerous if the baby spikes through the fever. If you give the baby Tylenol or Advil and the fever goes down, so then that's not a sakana. So why can't you just give the baby some Advil? If the fever goes away, I mean you could feel the baby, but sometimes the taka spikes
but
through.
you don't know how high it is, and then they can get febrile seizures.
I'm saying, but you don't. I mean, you could tell if a baby has 103 and it drops back down. You could usually tell. I'm just saying, but sometimes the taka spikes through and they can't stop it.
There's a thing that came out, stickers, thermometer stickers. You seen them? Put it on the
the stickers on the forehead?
Yeah, you put it on the baby and it lights, it like.
That's right. That's also nice. It's not as good as a mercury halachically. But anyways, okay. So it's hard. Again, we're gonna get into the whole thing with whether these Gemaras really are fit nowadays. Is the Metzias change, etc., etc. Fine. When the end of a person's life it reaches, meaning once he's at the time where he's supposed to be nifter, so then anything can happen. Any small thing that normally wouldn't take somebody's life would here. Shenemar Abaya call might say Yargeni. Anything I'm gonna see is going to kill me. Right? This is Cain and Hevel. When he was afraid that he's gonna just get killed, right? Which he ended up being killed a while later. But that's what he was concerned for, because there was like a warrant out for his death. So Rav Amar Minadin Kra, you learn it from a different pasuk. You learn it out from your mishpatim, from the rules, from the laws. Amdu hayom, it's going to be Amid today. Because everything is your servants. So what does this mean? So Rabbi Bar Shila Amrulay Shachiv Gavra Gavaya. There was a man, a Gavaya, a tall guy who died this way. Shachiv is another word, laying down, meaning it's another word for death. Right? Have a Rachib Girduna Zutra. So this tall guy was riding on a small, how do you call it? A mule, small mule. Mata Titura, when he got to a bridge, Istavit Shadja Bekashachim. So what do you call it? The mule went crazy and threw him off, and Shachim, and then he died. That's how he died. I guess the mule got scared from the bridge. So Kari al Nafshe. So what they say about him? The Mishpatecha Amdu Hayom. Right, that you're going to the judges, the judgment is Amid today. Right? Meaning, why would such a small animal throw off such a tall guy, and why should he die from that? It's what we call a freak accident. Why should there be a freak accident? Must be that it was his time to die, and Mamela, that's why this thing caused its death. Even though in a normal circumstance, it wouldn't cause its death. Right? Shmuel Chazia lahu karkus. How do you say there's a few different girsayas here. So Shmuel Chazia lahu. I think you just take out the karkusa. That's what the gimel. Yeah, he saw akrava yesiva ala karkosa. That's what you say it. He saw a what do you call it? A scorpion on top of a frog. And it was the scorpion rode on top. The frog can tread water, so the scorpion was on top of the frog, and on Avranara, and it crossed him the river. So Tarka Gavromais, and then the scorpion got there and it bit a man, and the man died. So it must be that's such a weird way for the death to happen, that a scorpion crosses the road, crosses the river, and then goes and bites somebody. So then that has to be that it was his time, right? So the way Rashi says it, the Mefarish says it, that well, the frog wouldn't be able to bite him, and the scorpion can't swim, but the two of them together, they were a team. Since they were a team, they were able to kill. So that's another freak accident. Which, by the way, so this is, of course, people say, oh, must be, when somebody dies from a crazy accident. So people say, what can you do? This is what Hashem wanted. The Shulchan Aruch says, we had this, I think we had the Gemara in Mayakam, maybe. If not, it's in Shulchan Aruch. You can't, by a Shiva, one cannot say, what can you do? This must be, because sounds like if you could do something, you would have done something, right? It's apikosis. To say that, well, the thing that people unfortunately say is, what can we do? There's nothing we could do. Like, as mashma that you're about over here, that you could do something, right? Nothing. That's so that you're not supposed to say these type of things. And that's the halach. I don't know if people are makbid on it or not. Yeah, fine. Amar Shmuel. Another. Yeah. So Amar Shmuel, aim bevakrunas achayla, ella lemi shechatzasei chama. The only chayla that you can go visit is somebody who has the heat grabbed onto him, which meaning only somebody who has fever. So according to this, before you go visit a chayla, you got to call him up and say, you have fever? If you have fever, okay, I could come. Right, which is usually the time that the chayla does not want you to come. Right? Okay, I don't know how the Metzias works. Lafuke ma. I said, what are you coming to exclude? Lafuke adatani Rabbi Yosef and Parta Aimer Meshum Rebbi Eliezer aim Revakron loy chayla me'ayim. Right, you're not allowed to visit somebody who has stomach issues, v'loy chayla ha'ayin, and not anybody that has issues with his eye, v'loy mechushe harosh, and not somebody who has something wrong with his head. So what's up, shot again? 3 that you're not supposed to visit: somebody with a stomach issue, somebody with a vision issue, and somebody with a headache, I guess, or something with his head. So that could be embarrassing for him because he has to keep going to the bathroom. So that's a busha. So that's why you shouldn't visit him. Why can't you go visit somebody who has something wrong with his head or with his eye? So Gemara answers, speaking, talking is bad for the eyes. Umayli lishta, but it's good for fever. I don't know exactly what this means, but talking will cause somebody to have issues with his eyes. But meaning, it doesn't sound like you'll have issues with eyes, but somebody who has issues with his eyes, talking too much will cause more problems. But somebody with fever, talking will not be a problem. Right? Yeah, but again, this is just talking. This is just actually going to visit them. Doesn't mean that you can't call the whoever's taking care of them to see how they're doing, to wish them well, etc., etc. And daven for them, of course. Fine. Amar Rava, hi ishsa, right? So this type of fever, he loved the parvanka, the malacha, the maisa. If fever wouldn't be, the parvanka means the helper, I guess, or the vehicle, something like that, of the malach hamavis, mali, it would help. Meaning, saying the fever would be a good thing if it wouldn't be one of the tools that the malach hamavis uses. And again, he loved the parvanka, the malacha, the maisa. The fever wouldn't be this helper of the malach hamavis, mali on top of base now. It would help kechizraladikli, like the thorns help for a palm tree, because the thorns on the bottom of a palm tree, which I don't remember seeing thorns on the bottom of a palm tree, maybe, I don't know, protected from animals. So therefore, the fever will protect the person too. Right? If this happens once every 30 days, and it's similar to this suraiki of the guf. Right? I don't know exactly what that is. Yeah? Anybody know what that is? Suraiki? Okay, it's some sort of it's some sort of healing thing that's based on the context, right?
I think it might be the source of the word serum.
Serum? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what it's? Well, okay, okay, the targum in the Siraika.
Right, but it's a refu. I mean, it's for snake bite. Something you put on, schmear.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. Weiß nicht. Anyway, so Rav Nachman Yitzchak Amar loihi v'loi Siraika. I don't want it, and I don't want Siraika. You're sick. I don't want. Don't give me.
You're muted.
Muted? Yeah? You hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, we
good.
hear you.
All right, sorry. Okay, anyway, so Rav Nachman Yitzchak said, Loi he v'loi Siraika. I don't want the fever and I don't want the Siraika. Meaning, don't give me the fever and don't give me the gains that I'll get from it. Amar Rav Yonason, Amar Rav Yechiel, Arson, Yafa l'chayla l'refawasei. So arson, right? I don't think it means arson like fire. Right? This arson is good for a chayla to heal. My arson. What is arson? So Amar Rabbi Yonason.
Didn't we have this Gemara someplace else?
We did. There's a Gemara someplace else. I don't know where it is. Seems
Right,
like it's a Yuma. What?
Sounds like the exact same thing. We said, "Don't give me this. Don't give me the schar."
We had Loimit. We had Loimit of Shech. No, we didn't have that. It could be. It's. Hold on. Let me see. It's saying Yuma. We definitely had it, but that's not. This Gemara is in Yuma, but it didn't say this part. I think. Okay. Anyway, so Amar Rav Yonason, Chushel Desari Atika Dereish Nafil. This it's the peeled part of the barley, of old barley, that was sifted out, originally sifted out. That's what this stuff is. Okay. Amar Abaya. Bayin bishula kain bisra detura. You have to. It requires cooking the same way that a shar's meat. Now the parents just logged off. Meat needs to be cooked for a long time. So this barley also needs to be cooked for a long time in order for it to be effective. Yosef Amar, smidi desari atik the dereish nafil. This it's not. I don't know if he's disagreeing. It sounds like he's disagreeing exactly what this arson is. It's flour, also from old. It's flour, meaning the difference between his sheet and the previous sheet. The previous sheet is actual barley that's cooked. Here he made it into barley, flour, and then from the original sifting of it, he made it into flour and then had to cook it. So I'm gonna buy it. It also needs to be cooked like meat, meat from a shark. Boredom ain't mevakim. Somebody who has boredom, don't visit him. Right? So what's boredom? Ain't maskirin shema, and you're not allowed to. You don't mention the name either. Meaning, don't say the word boredom either. My time. What's the reason? So because this boredom is like a mayan, like a stream that's flowing. What does that mean? It's like a stream that's flowing. So the Mefarshim say it either means that it's some sort of internal bleeding that comes out of the body. So it's a busha, right? That was one pshat. what was the other pshat?
Hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids, that wasn't.
It's a shilshul gadol.
That's one, right? Shilshul, but not blood. Shilshul, but
No.
not blood, or he also says it's blood with the shilshul. I don't know. I'm looking for it.
Without.
Without. Okay, so one is shilshul and one is blood. Okay. Fine. Umarafeu refuas hanefesh. Then the Gemara says that the Mishnah said that you're allowed, if you make the nether against a guy, you're allowed to heal him a refuas hanefesh, but not refuas haguf. So what does that mean? Heichik. So how do we understand this? Either with the refuas nefesh bechinam, refuas nefesh means he doesn't charge. Refuas mammon b'schar, and refuas mammon means he's going to charge. So lisni hachiv. So why don't you just say that beferish? Merapeo bechinam, avaloi b'schar. Heal him for free, and not with schar. Which again, I don't necessarily understand that. I mean, there's so many times, especially in the Nedarim, where it uses different terminology, right? So why here is that a kasha? Okay, but anyways, so he's saying let it say free and charging, so that can't be. Ella refuas nefesh gufay, refuas mammon behemtoy. Refuas nefesh means his guf, and refuas mammon means his behema. Right? So refuas haguf you're allowed to do. Why? Because it's a mitzvah to heal somebody. So since you have a mitzvah to heal somebody, so like we've been saying, mitzvahs lav lahanis, so you're allowed to do the mitzvah. But there is no mitzvah to heal somebody's animal. There's no mitzvah to heal somebody's animal. So therefore it's not allowed. Right? Now there's a very interesting, the Tosfos brings in, and the Ran also, it's very interesting here because why isn't it not like returning the lost object? Right? Meaning if a guy's animal's dying, why can't you go heal it? If you see it, we already learned that we made a nether against the guy and he loses his object, you're allowed to give it back to him. Right? So what about if his animal's about to die? Isn't that saving it? And isn't that like giving it back what he's gonna lose?
Plus, we also have the mitzvah. If you see his donkey under the burden, you have an obligation to help relieve the donkey.
What are you saying?
It's a plus in the Torah. If you see your friend's donkey collapse under the weight of his packages, you have to
That's
help him.
true, but let's say he's sick without that.
But it's the same.
Let's say he's sick
Isn't that
without
your
that.
point? Your point is that you have a mitzvah to help the animal.
Correct. So are you saying, so we learn out from that there's a mitzvah to help somebody? I mean, if he's under a burden, then for sure you have to help, right? Right? That's what you're saying. But okay, well, and if he's not, I'm looking through the round, I can't find. Oh, here it is. Just a little harder when I'm driving to see the runs. Right, I can see the big letters in the Gemara. The run is a little more difficult to see when I'm bouncing around in a Fiat. What does he say? What the Ran says. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find the Ran now, but there's Rebbi Kiva Eger asks on the Ran and says, right, that it's different than a Shavas Aveda, right? Because a Shavas Aveda, he lost it, and you're just giving. Why are you allowed to return an Aveda if you make a nether on the guy? Because he lost it, and you're giving it back. What's his? What kind of hana are you giving him? This Rebbi Kiva Eger says Tzarachin. There's Rebbi Kiva Eger on the left. He says you're not giving him something that's rightfully his. This thing is going to die now. You're sort of giving him something totally new, right? Okay, whatever. But that's a tumult in the posting. If you're allowed to, if there's nobody else, so if you're allowed to taka heal that, is it a mitzvah? Is it not a mitzvah? Right? Yeah. Fine.
Can you Can you learn it? You can learn a Musa Sefer with him, so he does chuvas. He's a different person.
Well, we said you're allowed to teach him, no?
Yeah, but I'm saying Dafka Musa because he does chuva from it, so becomes a different. Becomes a different person. No, he's not the guy you made
but you
the
know what?
neder against. He's not the
Right. And I hear that, but it's interesting because maybe you have all these Musar vadim that you have to pay to be a part of. So maybe right?
yeah.
Sure, you got to pay. So maybe
on your block.
Right.
The
So
what?
So,
What'd you say? I didn't hear.
On his block, he's got a Musar
on
Vadim.
my block, there's a Musar vadim that you got to pay to be a part of.
Got to pay big money.
So that guy, for sure, you can't do it for free because then you're giving him hana. Anyways, okay, so that's what it is with the. See again, what?
What's the mitzvah here? Which mitzvah?
Which part are you talking about?
To heal someone.
Mitzvah of healing somebody?
Yeah.
That's a different shaila. Is there a mitzvah? Well, I'm saying we learned it. I forgot what the makar is.
V'rapa yirape. Mikan shenit reshus l'roife l'rapa. It's not a mitzvah.
Yeah, but no, that's not where the mitzvah is from. You're right. That's where you have reshus to heal, right? But there's another source for that. There's a mitzvah to heal.
It's a mitzvah. Why do I need reshus?
What is it? You don't need. What do you mean?
It's a drasha. You need reshus for roife to heal.
No, you're saying so if you need reshus.
Yeah.
You're saying if you need reshus, then who says?
Unless Aaron was right, Itaka means refuas hanefesh, means learning with him.
No, I think it means. I mean the lashon Shulchan Aruch is nitna Torah b'shus l'roife l'rapos u'mitzvahi u'b'chla b'koach nefeshu, and if you don't heal, then you're a shayfer damim. Right, and that's even if he has another doctor, because, and this is a hard part to understand, not everybody is zoicha to be the shliach of the Rebbe Shalom, right? You ever hear people say, the doctor should be the right shliach, right? Because Shulchan Aruch says not everybody was meant to heal somebody else. Meaning, say even if he theoretically has somebody else to heal, if you're a doctor, you got to try also because maybe you're the guy. Right, so it seems like the two are going hand in hand. That the reshus and yeah. But anyways, okay. Yes, Amar Rav Zutra, two lines before the first mission. Amar Rav Zutra, Artavi Amar Rav Aval Amar Lai Sam Pliny Yafala Sam Pliny Rala. What you could do is you could say that this poison is good and this poison is bad. That you're allowed to do. It doesn't mean poison. That's a literal translation, but it means this medication. But meaning for the animal, not for the person. He's allowed to, right? Why? Because Tosfos says that's not considered real hana. In order to give somebody, it's not considered. Giving somebody advice how to heal his animal is not a problem. Fine. Okay. Next Mishnah. It says, you're allowed to bathe with him in a large pool, but you can't bathe with him in a small pool. And they're allowed to sleep together in the same bed. Right? Now, why is it that in a large pool is okay? We'll see that in the Gemara. But you're allowed to sleep with him in the same bed. Rebbi Yehuda, you're allowed to sleep with him during the summer in the same bed because there's no hana. But not in the rainy season, meaning the winter, because there's going to be hana, because their body heat is going to warm each other up. Right? Now there is a halacha in Shulchan Aruch that two men are not allowed to sleep in the same bed in one blanket. So I meant to look into it today. I forgot why that's not a problem here, unless you say it's two different blankets. But then I don't know. I'm not sure. I have totally forgot to look this up. But there is a din. It comes up a lot with camps, sleepaway camps, the yeshivas. They go away and they get king size beds for the bachram, and they want to put them, two of them in one bed, and it's not a pashut thing at all. Not a pashut thing at all. But either way, So that's not allowed. And you're allowed to do haseba on the mita. That just means that they sit on beds when they ate. You're allowed to, and there's no chashash they're going to lay with each other. And you're allowed to eat at the same table, which is very interesting, because we know that somebody eating milchiks is not allowed to eat at the same table as somebody eating fleishiks, because they might share. So how can you go allow a guy to sit at a table with somebody that's also for him to eat from, right? So okay, but that's another din that the place can discuss.
See, Yaakov, in the ancient days when we brought food, we brought sandwiches from the house to eat when I was in yeshiva. It didn't matter what you ate. We had there was one table, everybody ate lunch.
You know what I mean? So that's good, really coming up in the next Mishnah, no? Like they put all the food down in front of everybody?
No, we each had it. I could have had a salami sandwich. The other guy had a cream cheese sandwich. The other fellow had a tuna fish sandwich.
What? Were you saying you've given in front of?
We each bought a sandwich from our mothers, and it didn't matter what it was. We ate at one table.
What?
You're saying one kid bought a corned beef and one kid bought a cheese sandwich. They said the same
Oh,
table.
you're saying stam? I thought you were talking about making a neder from not eating from the table.
No,
you're saying stam how it worked in yeshiva.
Yeah, we bought sandwiches
I don't know,
from the
Taco.
house.
You sat at the same table?
Yeah, where we were going to sit.
Okay, interesting.
Told me
You tried to have sit in a room that had windows, you know?
Yeah, okay. I don't know what the yeshiva was thinking then. Unless maybe...
Well, that's like Achsanoi, where Ein Makirin, no?
Right, so maybe the heter is if you don't recognize the guy and you'll never share food with each other, then it's okay.
They were his classmates, Kasha from Isa.
Okay, go check. I hear. Anyways.
Oh, it depends on the type of Ein Makirin. If Ein Makirin,
it was a different
you
time.
don't share food. You're not going to grab Yenna's sandwich. He's not going to grab yours.
I remember Ramnata told me that he shared a bed together with Rebbi Yomi Kamenetsky.
Oh yeah, they did it in the old days. They did it, yes, 100%. I don't know what the pshat is, but yeah, they definitely did it. They also have that psak in yeshivas, Rabban, with you don't make a mezuman. That's like accepted in yeshivas. You sit by breakfast or lunch, you eat with a bunch of guys, you don't make a mezuman because that's not called eating together. So that answers up, even though they're all sitting together. I told the guys in yeshiva, if you're sitting and schmoozing with the guy, then you should.
I don't know if we benched in those days. I have no idea what.
Yeah, I don't.
You remember your sandwich?
That's because you're modern Orthodox.
You benched?
That's right.
What?
I said that's because he's modern Orthodox. That's why he didn't bench.
No, he remembers the sandwich, but he doesn't remember the benching.
Maybe it's just saying, then you'd remember.
Maybe right. They probably didn't sing. And bang on the table and all that other mishigas.
Oh, Rabbi, they're on to you tonight, man.
What? Hold on. I'm gonna be finished in a minute. I'm sorry, just sorry. Yeah, so okay, I don't know how that worked exactly, but I would say that the yeshiva is a different dining. Yeah. A dining room in the yeshiva. Well, Bechlal, you have minigai yeshivas. They do whatever they want anyways, and they call it minigai yeshivas. No, but we're not going down that road either. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So you're allowed to eat on shulchan, but not from a bowl, not from a serving bowl. I mean, a tamchui meaning a tamchui is like a serving bowl, right? A serving bowl. Yeah. But you're allowed to eat with him if the tamchui is going back. If the tamchui is going back, because there's going to be leftovers, then it's not a problem. Meaning, if you eat from a regular bowl, the same bowl at the same time, so inevitably you might give him hana. because you can say, oh, take a little extra yourself, right? But if it's a big serving bowl that's going to go back, then that's not a problem because the stomach there's going to be a lot left. Okay, so that's a bunch of other things. So Zakti Gemara Tanya, you're not allowed to wash with him in the bath, but you're not allowed to sleep with him in a bed ben gedola ben katana. Whether the bed is big or small, we don't care. Yehuda disagrees. You're allowed to sleep in a big bed during the winter because you're not going to warm each other because it's a big bed. And a small bed, is mutter. Right? Why? Because I'm assuming in it's not kishmak to have that. You're allowed to bathe with him in a large bath. Now, what's a pshat? Because when you're in a large bath, there's no hano. If you're in a small bath and one guy goes in, so then that raises, what do you call it? There's a word for this. It raises the water level. It's not gravity, obviously.
We had this dispensation.
Displacement.
Displacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that displacement if the water goes out. No, displacement
that's how
doesn't
you-
go out.
Placement just means it moves the water to a different place.
Okay, but here it's just So if you're sitting in the bath and one guy goes in, and then it raises the water level, so the other guy's very happy that it raised the water level because now he gets to be in more hot water or cold water, whichever it is that he wants. But if it's a big bath, so it's not going to affect him, so that's not a problem, right? So that's why in a big bath it's okay, in a small bath not okay. Mazima imay b'katana, and you're allowed to use it as a schwitz even in a small place, right? Because there's no extra heat by having another person. But they're allowed to lean on the same bed and eat with him at a table, but not from the large bowl. But from a serving bowl that's going to go back, then that's allowed. And what does it mean, the tamchei achayz? It's the labayas, right? It's the tamchi that's going to go back to the balabayas, so therefore they're not benefiting from the extra food. Fine. Next Mishnah. I found this word fascinating. They are not allowed to eat together with the guy you made a nether against. And avos is how do you pronounce it? Trough, right? I mean, isn't a trough for animals? So what they do? They put food in front of the workers like animals? That's why I thought you were talking about Rebbi in school. They threw all the food in front of the kids like animals, right? That's what I thought you were talking about. But it seems like what they just threw it in there and then they just fought each other for the food, right? So there, you're not allowed to eat with him. Why? And the same reason as the tamchoy, because you're going to end up maybe giving a little bit of food to the other guy, etc., etc. And you're not allowed to work with him as an uman, as a worker in a vineyard. You're allowed to work, but you have to stay far away from each other. Right? Fine. I mean, again, the total opposite. Right? The das Torah, the das balabat is everyone das Torah. If you tell me that you can teach a guy you made a nether against, I tell you probably no. And can you do the almost thing? Half the things, can you turn us? I would say no. Can you eat with him from the same serving plate? I'd say yeah. Why not? Right? Each one of you gets your own. But of course, it's the opposite, right? That you can't because we're afraid you're going to leave him some over. So the Gemara says, "Bakarav like pligi dasa."
It'd be like you all walk by on Friday taking a bite out of the same pan of kugel. It's a problem.
That's what we're saying, that the oilam is So the
Is
Gemara
this the
says
same by our chakas? A small bag of chips versus a family-sized bag of chips? According to those places that allow it?
It's a different Torah, though. Isn't that a different, that doesn't have to do with this. That's just about what makes kir of das. Are you saying here too, maybe it's kir of das?
They use the same thing. A small bag of chips meant for one person, then you're going to have something there.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, maybe I hear. Anyway, so then Gemara says, when they're close to each other working the field, everybody says that it's also. They're having a machlokes when they're far away from each other, right? Meaning, when they're both working the field together and they're close to each other, so one guy's digging could help out the other guy, right? But so when they're close to each other, there's no machlokes. That's also the machlokes is when they're far away. We make a gzeira of rachak because of karev. You're going to allow them to work the field together, then they might end up even far away. They may end up working it together. The kamarapi because he's going to end up loosening up the dirt for him. Rabbanan Tzavi like Azrina, and Rabbanan say there's no gezeira. As long as you're far enough away from each other, then we have no problem. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop over here. I'm sorry for being late and all that. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking with being far away, I don't remember who it was. One of the great center fielders told he had a real schlock playing left field. He says, "You don't move from there."